Tinubu, don't dare us. We left Peter Obi to vote for you. BAT supporter cries over hardship. A Bola Tinubu supporter has taken to social media to lament the hardship he and some others are experiencing. In the video, he raised concerns over the high cost of fuel following the removal of the subsidy. Expressing his disappointment at the current administration led by President Bola Tinubu, the man said he and many others left Peter Obi to campaign for him because they believed in him. However, his actions and decisions are affecting the lives of the masses negatively. He warned President Tinubu not to dare the masses who voted for him to power and urged him to resolve the problems affecting the citizens. In his words, he says, "Upon all these stress and pains I'm going through, at the end of the day, I'm still seeing my people fuel at the rate of 520 naira, and the deal that holds the subsidy was paid till end of July. And we are still in June and my people are buying the fuel, and as a new president of the office, you are not saying anything. Have you connived with the people to frustrate the masses? Sir, we all drove away from Peter Obi just because we realized that he's a pretender." The role we are facing now, we have discovered that same person that we believe he is for the masses is the same person that is a pretender. Bola Tinubu, don't dare this country, don't dare us. Some people have not eaten. Some people cannot walk freely because they campaign for you. They use their life to campaign for you. Sir, can you send us to prison? But we will never let you rest if you continue to sell fuel at the rate of 520 naira. I think this person is just a clout chaser. The person just wanted attention. It just does not make sense. But given for those that actually supported Tinubu and those that believed in what he's doing, I feel like it's a bit too early to give opinions now. For the opposition who didn't vote and are thinking, well, is he that good? Is he not that good? Or for those who actually supported and are actually, I think, over-exaggerating and amplifying the things that he's done. It's like, okay, fine. We have both extremes on, different sides. I think before we can actually judge Tinubu on what he's doing and what he's capable of, it will actually need time. And it's the same thing if, Peter Obi won. It's the same thing. We can't still come out and say, 1 month in, look at what Peter Obi has done. Again, we can only go for the facts of what he has done. Giving opinions is so irrelevant because until we see development, until we see results of the decisions, of the policies, of the traveling, of the collaborations that he does, we cannot say anything, right? But now Tinubu has won. So trying to say that people, went from Peter Obi because he's a pretender to Tinubu is absolutely ludicrous, does not make any sense. I believe it's a whole load of bull crap. Why? Because on the basis of just logic, and you have different, for example, imagine you have different people trying to sell something to you, right? Based on just competence and the value, and in this case it's a service, so it's not a product, it's a service. So how would you judge someone who you believe is best? For example, you want to employ someone to work for you. You don't know them, you might have known them, someone you know might have referred them. Hello. However, when these people come and you assess them, what are your reasons? In the political space where you have individuals that in their position, they're meant to, appease the citizens. They're meant to sell themselves as the best. Did Tinubu try? Because if we're going to compare both campaigns, if we're going to compare both individuals and what they brought to the table regarding their campaign and how they represented themselves, Peter Obi was way better. He was way better. And why Peter Obi is getting hate? Not because he's good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we've had, very important, we've had very important, people in the past that have come who, in 2019, I think Fela Durotoye, right? He was one of the political aspirants. And so, I personally would say, oh wow, the way Fela Durotoye carries himself, the way he speaks. And again, I'm not saying that is what you need to be a good president. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, for someone you want in office, a good way to not just assess them, but assess how they think and the character they have is by what they say. By what somebody says, you can actually tell they're a pretender. right? Okay, fine, you think Peter Obi is a pretender. The facts and the history and its antecedents prove that he is not. So the problem is because, for example, if Toye, he was good, his antecedents proved right, he, articulated himself very well. And okay, fine, this is a progressive person. If we want someone at the helm or at the top of leadership, we need someone with a very progressive and forward mindset, or the will and drive to make Nigeria catch up, because we are so behind and we regress so much. But again, my point I'm trying to make is, upon all the things that we're talking about, how this person's good, how this person's not good, the point is why Peter Obi was such, or triggered a lot of people, was because he was a contender. They actually got competition this time around. And when you have competition, you see how people act, right? And, with the back and forths, with the propaganda to spoil his name, so many random stories throughout the campaign or even pre-campaign season, people saying that he's part of Biafra, he's a terrorist, he's this, he's that. And so it's like more than just people supporting, or more than just, judging Peter Obi as a capable candidate. He was a contender that was almost a threat. He was a threat. He was a threat to the two main parties. Because again, if he was not a threat, then no one was going to give him attention. But I think it just caught, the powers that be unaware, because the support he gained given the period of time was just, you could not explain it. And the fact they could not explain it threw them off their feet. But point is, right, Peter Obi was a contender. And for those that are talking about, the suffering, the this, the that, it's sad because as Nigerians, we're very competitive. So, it's okay to expect a season or several months that are coming and ahead of people just saying, I told you so. I told you so, from those who think, well, look at Tinubu, look at what he's doing. And the I told you so's that will come from those who voted for Tinubu and say, well, you see, Tinubu won, your person did not win. And I'm like, people of Nigeria, we need to get our head out of the sand. We cannot lose focus of what the bigger picture is or what is at sight.